Guys, it's time for another episode of Therapy Thursday. It's Dr. Delvina. Are y'all ready? Are you ready to take the couch? Party and have some fun. Get on the dance floor. Get on the dance floor. Get on the dance floor. I know you want a good time. Get on the dance floor. Get on the dance floor. Party and have some fun. Hey guys, it's time for another episode of Therapy Thursday. You know that I love to do this. I love to come on and share information and facts about mental health and wellness. And oftentimes I bring on a very special guest. Tonight, our special guest is talking to us all the way from the motherland, from Ghana. Some of you may know that I've taken a couple of trips over to the motherland. I've been to South Africa, I've been to Egypt, and in January, I'm traveling to Ghana, and I plan to meet my birthday twin. I just found out she was born the day before I was born. She is a January baby, an Aquarius baby. I am talking tonight to Miss Queen Nana. I am going to ask her to pronounce and state her entire name. She just has a very special name for a very special person, and I cannot wait to introduce you to her. Miss Nana, Queen Nana, is an entrepreneur, a mental health advocate, a brain lover as I am, and a body positivity activist. Now, so before I bring her up, I just want to show you a couple of things. I want you to know why this lady is so special. She is a body positivity activist, and she's an Aquarius, like I was telling you. And so I want you to know a couple of things about Aquarius, and you can understand she and I, you can understand why we vibe. We love mental stimulation. That is something that is a main key to happiness for Aquarians. Without it, we can become bored and uninterested. We need that mental stimulation. And we're also very original and we're eccentric. So I want you to meet this very special lady. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her before I bring her up to the stage, because I need you to understand why tonight she's my special guest. As we peruse and go through some of her photos, Miss Queen Nana, as I told you guys, she's an entrepreneur. She is over there in Ghana, and she's teaching people all about mental health and wellness. She's a media personality there. She is popularly known in the media fraternity as Lindsay on Fire, or ABK. And as I told you, she was born in January, so she's an Aquarian. Look at these beautiful photos. Look at this lady. She went on to take a 2-year course after graduating high school. She took a 2-year course in biological science at the University of Ghana and a 4-year degree course in biomedical science. So she has that scientific brain. We're very similar. She attended the University of Cape Coast for that 4-year degree. She has a dexterous TV career. To be so young, she's a TV star, and she's currently taking her master's course in entrepreneurship and small enterprise development. And she's popularly known for her former job at TV3 as a co-host of, now get this guys, as a co-host of the Ladies Circle. She also worked as a project coordinator for Mental Health Society of Ghana, and is also the founder of a mental health support group called Psychosocial Africa. So if you're watching this on, let's say you're probably watching it on your computer, go on your phone and go to Instagram and pull up Psychosocial Africa and follow that page. They are doing, under her direction, they are doing some fabulous things. She is the founder and the owner of Psychosocial Africa. And she also owns her own plus size fashion business, which she can tell us a little bit more about that as well. Her aim is to improve mental health and wellness in the community. I just love this adorable photo of Miss Nana. So without further ado, hello.
Hi.
Hi there. Thank you for coming on tonight.
It's my biggest pleasure to be here.
Oh my gosh, that's so special. What I love the most is that you're a water baby like I am.
Yes. I'm proud of Aquarius.
Yes, that's absolutely special. So, what are you up to these days? I mentioned to people you're an entrepreneur. You founded two companies. You
Yeah.
have Psychosocial Africa and also your fashion company. Give them that Instagram page for me so that way they can pull that up on Instagram too.
My personal Instagram is at Miss Abena Kokor. And then we have my fashion business is Plus Fashion by ABK. And my baby, my most precious baby at Psychosocial Africa, is for the mental health advocacy and support group.
Okay, thank you. And so, what inspired you to conceive your baby, the Psychosocial Africa?
Wow. So in 2015, I was actually a biomedical science student at the University of Cape Coast. I was aspiring for the position of SRC president. If all had gone well, I'd have been the first female president of my university. And I had studied psychology like the previous semester. It was psychology, but it was branded as human behavioral science. So we're studying that. That's the first time I actually studied abnormal behaviors. I learned about mood disorders, anxiety disorders, and I didn't even know that I was living with one of these disorders. So in February 2015, I had my first manic episode, and it was new. It was tragic. It was exhausting. It was fun. It was a whole lot of things. And I was diagnosed at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital that I have bipolar disorder.
Okay, you're back. I lost you for a sec. You were diagnosed with bipolar disorder, you said?
I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And when I got back to school, there was no proper system to integrate me back.
So, guys, she's all the way in Ghana and had a little bit of an issue with her internet. So, we're just going to take a break right now for a commercial, a DRT Behavioral Services commercial. If you know who I am in the community, you know that I own a mental health practice, DRT Behavioral Services, PLLC. Shout out to the providers who are on my team. Shout out to all of them. Miss Jamila Trimble, who's one of the therapists, licensed clinical social worker. We also have Tammy Ewing, nurse practitioner, Rochelle Boyd, nurse practitioner, Dr. Linda Mays, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, Jacqueline Small, who's also a major in the U.S. Army Reserve. We have Philip Wells, who's a licensed mental health intern, Miss Consuelo Davis, who's a licensed mental health intern, and of course my admin staff. I can't do it without them. Amanda Spring is the office manager, and Sarah Villatora is in the administrative staff, as well as Sean Wright works insurance. And we have our wellness spa crew too, which can't give a shout out to all of those folks right now, but coming soon, you'll have a video from me and the wellness spa folks. So check out this commercial and I'll bring back Miss Nana. All righty. Thank you. Brain love, guys. We're coming right back. Hi, I'm Dr. Delvina Thomas, a board-certified psychiatrist and owner of DRT Behavioral Services, PLLC, located at 2699 Sterling Road in Suites C407 and C102. I've been a psychiatrist since 2007 and the owner of DRT Behavioral Services since 2014. The challenge that I had as a psychiatrist, a physician practicing medicine in America, was the discrimination and the lowballing when it comes to my salary. So I decided to open my own practice and create my own line of CBD gummies, DRT Behavioral Services Gummies. It's important that we do these things in our communities. We have to share information with one another. We have to network. Someone helped me, I help them, you help people. We all have to help one another so that we can create thriving, booming businesses. Learn something and pass it on. DRT Behavioral Services, PLLC. So Queen Nana, you mentioned being diagnosed with bipolar. You were about age 25 or so?
Yeah, I was about 25.
What did that mean to you? Did the folks explain to you why they said you had bipolar? Did they go over the symptoms, the presentation?
So, let's say I was a little bit lucky because the previous semester I had done abnormal behavior. So it was more of like, okay, I could actually connect the dots now from my change in behavior, and I could connect the dots. So earlier on, I was talking about how psychosocial Africa started. So it was more of like, I just wanted to find people like me. And my relapse happened, my manic episode happened in such a way that it was all over social media and on the blogs, newspapers, because I I was running for SRC president, and we're a very conservative country. So I think I uploaded some pictures of me dancing in lingerie in my bedroom, and then I went on a rant talking about some influential people, private things that might have gone on between the two of us. So it was like news all over. So it was more of like I had to, when I got back from the hospital, it was like I had to try and understand whatever is going on, um, explain to people what happened was not like intentional. It was actually a manic episode. So in going from radio station to TV station talking about bipolar disorder, people reached out to me that I also live with bipolar, or I have a daughter with bipolar, or my husband is bipolar. So it was like we just came together sharing our experiences, and then eventually we decided to start the support group, and we've been able to raise funds for some, we've done it I think 3 times for a psychiatric hospital. We do a lot of media engagement, on talking about mental health disorders. I've been had the opportunity to go for the Global Mental Health Summit. I went for one in South Africa. I met other, stakeholders in mental health, people talking about human rights. I met comic relief. So many people like in the mental health space. So psychosocial Africa has exposed me to a lot, and I've learned a lot. I don't feel ashamed anymore that I live with bipolar disorder. If someone has diabetes or has a heart problem and they are not ashamed of it, I should not be ashamed that I have a mental health disorder. So I live every day fiercely, and I'm enjoying every bit of it.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah.
Um, do you feel during the time that you had your first episode, I was asking if the clinicians at the hospital, if they did a thorough job in educating you as to why they labeled you as bipolar. And if they didn't do it in the hospital, did that happen afterward in your outpatient visits when you would go for follow-up? Did they explain to you why, or did you have to take it upon yourself to look it up and read about it and learn about it?
It was both. It was both because my first time at the hospital, I was very aggressive when I realized I was going to be admitted, because in Ghana there's so much stigma surrounding psychiatric hospitals. So when I knew that I was going to be admitted, I was like, no, 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 no. I got aggressive. I was injected, and for most of the period I was in the hospital, I was on so much medication. So even if they wanted to talk to me about it, I was cuckoo at that time. So I went ahead. So after leaving the hospital, I actually went through depression for over 6 months. I had to stay out of school for over a year. So when I got well after the 1 year period, that's when I started the search. I was asking my doctors a lot of questions. My department was biomedical science, so there were a lot of lecturers that I could ask them questions.
Mhm.
So yeah, I did a lot of search on my by myself, and I'll tell anybody that diagnosed that even if the doctors don't tell you, make sure you're asking questions. Why is this medication giving me a rash? Why am I shaking at night? Why am I not sleeping? Why am I gaining weight? You need to ask the questions, and also your own research. Talk to other people like also living with bipolar disorder, and then you can learn a lot, and it will help you find better coping skills.
Yeah. So for folks, bipolar is a type of mood disorder. It is a type of severe mental health disorder. It's a combination of extremes of mood. You heard Queen Nana mention she's had episodes of depression, and she also, it started out, I believe, and actually I didn't ask you this, but you mentioned you had your first manic episode in February 2015.
Yeah.
Prior to February 2015, had you ever experienced a major depressive episode, or was this your first episode into your bipolar?
I had experienced some sort of depressive episode. It was when I did my research. That's when I realized, oh, when this thing happened, I was actually going through depression, and I had no idea that that was what I was going through.
Okay, so yeah, bipolar includes variants on the spectrum, on the mood spectrum. People experience depression. It's major depression. It's not just, oh my God, I feel sad today. I don't feel like brushing my teeth, but you can function and do everything else. This is a severe episode of depression. And folks also experience mania, or what we call hypomania. Hypomania is very similar to mania, but the symptoms are not as severe as being manic. But you just heard Queen Nana mention that she had a manic episode. Do you mind my asking if you've had only just the one manic episode, or have you had additional episodes?
I've had about four or five. Okay, so the major ones are about four. Sometimes I catch it early, like maybe when it's hypomania, I catch it early, and it doesn't go full blown, but major ones where I was back in the media for the wrong reason, I've had about four.
Okay. And do you have a family member or friend who can help monitor you or watch you and say, Nana, something is wrong. You're cycling into one of these moods. We have to do something. We need to take you to your doctor. Are you taking your medication to prevent you from doing what you did the first time?
Yeah, I most of the time my family is around, my friends are around. So the minor ones that don't go full blown is when I actually listen to them. But sometimes there's some of the manic episodes, like you see it coming. Others it just sneaks up on you, like you. I remember my third manic episode. I was actually at a WHO conference where we were being trained on quality rights. I don't know if it's something that you've come across, but it's more of like, focusing on patients' rights. So we're doing a training on that, on understanding quality rights, how it can be implemented in our country, and other things. I go for the conference in the morning. When the conference is done, I come to my room, and then I do my lingerie videos and rant. The next day, I look okay. I go in, and most of the people at the conference were not social media savvy people, so nobody realized um, the abnormal pattern until people had to call them from outside the conference that, okay, we think your girl is, cycling, or she's actually in a manic episode. So I had to be taken from the conference to the hospital. My medication was switched up a little bit. So sometimes I am functioning like a couple of hours of the day, other hours of the day I'm not. So it's difficult for me to figure it out, or people around me to figure it out, because naturally I'm more hyper than reserved and calm, and so you somebody might not want to step on my toes and go like, oh, have you been, or you're being too lively, or so sometimes it's difficult, but sometimes I'm able to catch it early, because I think about 2 or 3 manic episodes were prevented at the hypomania stage. Yeah, that I remember well.
Are you prescribed medications currently?
Yeah, I take, I'm currently taking Tegretol CR and Seroquel. And then I had a Haldol injection some weeks ago. The next time I go and see my doctor, we will decide whether I have to take another one or I just stay on the Tegretol and Seroquel. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel on your medication?
So in the beginning, when I started taking the Tegretol, I went through a lot of medications before finally ending up on Tegretol. I've taken sodium valproate before. I've taken imipramine. Um, what Attain. I've even been given Modicate before. That Modicate is not for bipolar, it's for schizophrenia. So there's been a lot of try and error, or like, trying to figure out the right doses and medication that work best for me. So when I started taking Tegretol, I used to get some rashes in, like, my crevices. So maybe in my armpit, over here, on my neck. And then I used to, what do you call it? Have spasms, shake at night, my fingers and all that. But after like a month or two, it stopped. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I went through a phase of being very drowsy when I take the medication. I would sleep in class. I was like, I was a first class student. I was like 3.7 was my GPA, and then it just zooped down to 1.3. And I didn't even know what was going on until like I gradually got back to the 2.73 thereabout. So it distorted my life a little bit, but right now I take it like I take vitamins. I take it, I don't feel anything or have any severe reactions. Yeah.
Okay. How long did it take the issue with the rash to resolve, to go away?
Um, it used to come and go. It used to come and go. Yeah, it used to come and go because as for Tegretol, I think I've been on Tegretol for over 5 years. But sometimes there'll be introductions of other medications that I think olanzapine. So when there's something new introduced, I get a skin reaction or I'll get the spasm, and then after a while, most of the new medications, I don't stay on it for too long. Maybe I have to take it for a month or a couple of weeks. And then I'll be taking I think I've taken risperidone too before. Risperidone, like, just took away my libido. Like, it was just gone. Like,
Oh, so you said risperidone destroyed your libido.
yeah, it just, like,
Yeah.
all the favorite things I want to be done to my body will be done to me, and I don't feel any sensation. So,
Wow. Yeah.
for the,
That's one of the common side effects of risperidone.
yeah, so I I whenever I like I'm having a crisis and I get to the hospital, I'm like, no respect, like, no respect on. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you been able to pinpoint certain things that might trigger a crisis for you or trigger an episode? Or for you, has it been basically based on the chemistry of your brain? So I don't ask that because there always has to be a trigger, but for some
Yeah.
people, certain things, changes in their lives, if they're having challenges in a personal relationship or financial stuff, it may cause them to spiral into an episode.
So sometimes, like for my very first manic episode, I really can't determine the trigger. But for my very last manic episode, I had just it's a little bit confusing. So I was into, lingerie modeling, and I was working as a TV presenter. And then one day, somebody sends me a message on my Instagram and goes like, "Oh, your skin is flawless. Like, you don't have any stretch marks. What do you use?" And I take it up for me. I actually do like a lingerie video in my bedroom so that you don't see any edited skin. I showed my stretch marks and other things that, I have stretch marks too. But when I take the pictures, it's obviously edited. So it looks like my skin is flawless, but no, I have stretch marks too. So the bloggers in my country are just quick to just distort stories. They don't read captions, nothing. It's like, oh, Abena posts another sex video, another racy video. And I think it gave negative publicity to my media house. They were not really like, very firm about, okay, we let you go because of that video or that. Like, there was no written statement because my contract had ended, but I was still working. So it's like there's an intended renewal. There was even discussions on it. And I wasn't even given any notice. I was just called into my PM's office one day and they told me, okay, the show is going off for some time. We don't know whether you'll be coming back or not. And it was like a big blow to me because I wasn't prepared for it. Like, and I I didn't cry, I didn't do anything in the office. But when I left, there was a lot of, it just took me back to the first time I ever had a manic episode. I felt sad, I felt ashamed, I felt worthless that, why me? Why do I have bipolar disorder for me to do things that will give me problems later? Like, I love this job so much. Maybe because of sometimes I'm confused whether it's bipolar or maybe it's my personality now or something that I've picked up and I'm wondering like why. And then again I just came to myself like, okay, um maybe bipolar makes me very sexual, or maybe it's just my nature, like, um some Aquarians are very sensual and we need mental stimulation. When I think about sex, I think about it like academically. I do research on, I'm always watching TED Talks on people's sexuality, evolution of sex toys, the economics of sex. So like sex is not just the intercourse part, it's deeper than that. When it comes to lingerie, it's more of like, the confidence a woman gets. So like globally, everybody is preaching body positivity, but women's bodies are so sexualized that if a woman just bears any part of her, oh, she's trying to seduce the man. Why must it be that I'm trying to seduce a man? Why can't it just be because I'm appreciating myself? And a, for a very long time, it's only slim bodies that are idolized. It's only slim bodies that are, rallied around. And there are a lot of women my size or bigger than me that you always feel not confident in. So like we're now getting the confidence. We now rock our bikinis. We now rock our lingerie. So that has been the journey for me. So I think I was just heartbroken. Everything was just negative for me. Stuff that was going on in the news about me, and me wondering if I would ever be able to work in a corporate institution, because it's like, okay, you be working and then you do something that is not approved by the company. And we don't have systems in Ghana where when you are wrongfully, like, displeased by your employers, there are no laws to try and mitigate things for you to get back to work. It's like, okay, you did this, whether it was my relapse or whether it was my character, whatever, there's nothing, they just let me go, like, and I wasn't ready for that. So that spiraled into a manic episode, and it was very, there was even a point where I even felt suicidal. Today, the 10th of September, which is not too far from now, is World Suicide Prevention Day. So I felt suicidal, and I was just thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna like, oh, it's just gonna make me puke, or my stomach is gonna hurt for a very long time. Nah, I can't use this, I can't use that. So I felt suicidal because I was like, I've tried everything. Deep down inside me, I know I don't want to cause chaos, but these things happen. I don't even understand why people have relapses, bring their TVs, burn their houses. Why don't I do that? But it's like I always do something that is maybe people feel is sexually inappropriate, and then it causes so much. I lose friends, I lose business partners, I lose jobs, and you just wonder. It's like you just don't fit in the Ghanaian young lady scripts that society has written down for us. And you get a lot of people just saying maybe you weren't brought up properly, maybe you're just a whore, or just somebody who likes controversy. So it takes a toll on me sometimes. Sometimes I don't know the trigger. Sometimes something actually triggers us, with the loss of my job, and you just going back to first you lost the opportunity to run for SRC president, then there's been you like lacking behind in school, all your mates completed and you're still in school. You're even scared to apply to any corporate institution now. My TV station actually poached me, like they came to me that they want to work with me. Now somebody has come to you, they want to work with you, and you just do a year with them, which went quickly, and then all of a sudden they are ready to let you go. It's like you feel like a bag of trash, and somebody just wants to let you go. So I'm just fortunate that sometimes, most of the time, I have a good support system. That is how come I'm sitting here having this conversation. That's how come I've not, committed suicide, because they would always remind me, you're still an amazing woman, you're an intelligent woman. This thing didn't work out, but there are so many other opportunities for you, and don't ever limit yourself. So I'll say a special thank you for all the people in my corner who are always there for me, and like, sometimes I wonder, aren't you scared I'm going to do something crazy to you when I have a manic episode? But they're still around, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, you have a lot of loyal
Yeah,
supporters. I'm not going to say followers. They're your
yeah,
supporters. When I obviously I follow you on
yeah,
Instagram and I see
yeah,
your post
yeah,
and I read some of the comments, and
yeah,
you're just so very genuine. Um, when someone is experiencing a manic or a hypomanic episode, oftentimes they don't know what they're doing.
yeah,
They're carrying out tasks and they're not knowing the repercussions, or not able to appreciate that it's wrong, or there's something wrong with them. But during an episode of depression, people are more so, usually unless psychosis is
yeah,
present with the depression, when someone is going through an episode of depression, they understand right from wrong. They're oriented.
mhm,
As we say in mental health, they have capacity to know what's happening. And so I know you could choose during those episodes not to share your
mhm,
story, or
mhm,
not to share what you're going through. But I've seen you do videos during which you share what you're feeling. You share that you're hurting. You
yeah,
share that you're having a challenging period of time. You allow people in. You
yeah.
allow your supporters in.
Yeah, for me, I've realized, when I just bottle up everything that is going on in my head in there, it just worsens situations, and so it's more of like therapy for me when I let it out. Also, it actually educates so many people. Like after maybe I have such a personal video, somebody would just DM me, like, I've been going through this and I didn't even know that's what it was, and now I know this is what I have. I actually went to the hospital, they've diagnosed me. And even me watching the video with my mom actually understands me better. She knows that, okay, I don't do these things intentionally, and it's because of the condition. So it's always educational for people, and it doesn't have, I don't expect everybody to understand or appreciate it, but if there's just one person that is making a positive impact, like, on, I'm just grateful for that, because the way people react to mental health episodes or mental health, let me use the word activity for lack of a better word, is
Right.
more of like because they lack understanding. I would even, say myself, like, before I got a manic episode, before I read human behavioral science, if I see somebody by the roadside or somebody behaving abnormally, I'm also quick to judge or stigmatize the person.
All right, y'all. We had a brief pause. over in Africa, they at times have challenges with their internet, also with their electricity in some countries. So Ghana has problems with both at times. And so this is just a brief intermission as we wait for seconds, and we will start part 2 of the show. We had an intermission here, but thank you for joining us on the couch, and get ready because she's coming back like right now. Bring love. Okay, hey guys, we're back on the couch. I'm back with Miss Queen Nana Abena. Abena is Abana, correct?
Abena.
Abena. Say your full name for me, Queen.
Nana Abena Kokor Addo.
Coco.
Yeah, so Nana means like, it's a title like queen or king in the local language. Abena means I'm Tuesday born. And then Koko means second girl in Ghana, but I'm not a second girl. I was named after someone who was a second girl. And then Addo is my family name.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for sharing that and explaining that. I was telling you before, I'll be in Ghana in January, so I'll have my naming ceremony. I'm so curious to see what my actual name would be. So
yeah,
I've been calling you Queen because I've been saying Queen Nana.
Yeah.
So maybe I should have been saying Queen Abena.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, we're back on the couch with the Queen from Ghana. You know that she's a mental health advocate. She has a very special foundation that helps folks with mental health challenges, Psychosocial Africa. And if you've watched the first part of this video, you know that we've really gone through basically her mental health journey. She's been so open in sharing the things that she's encountered and how things were for her when she had her first manic episode, some of the things that occurred during subsequent manic episodes, hypomanic episodes, the depressive episodes as well. September is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And so we're just trying to have an open and honest conversation about mental health and wellness. Pardon me. And of course, she's all the way in Ghana, man. She's over in the motherland. So at times when someone's in another country, sometimes the internet goes in and out and things like that. So that's why we had to stop and pick up again, but we're back on the couch. So listen, Queen Abena, since I'm not saying Queen Nana, Queen Abena. Let's see. I have a couple of questions for you again. I have my last 3 questions. The first question I have for you is, what would you advise anyone who has mental health challenges? How would you advise them, or you as a mental health advocate, what would you tell them?
So first of all, when you are diagnosed, you have to understand the condition you are dealing with. I live with bipolar disorder, so I know, I have learned, I look for people every day that live with bipolar disorder so that I really understand what I go through. When you understand what you go through, when you have a relapse or not, it's easier to, process things to get back to your normal. So know your condition, know the symptoms, know the causes. When you're giving medication, know your medication. Is it going to contradict with something else you're taking? Are you supposed to stop alcohol? Are you supposed to stop, so many things? How is it affecting your cycle as a woman? How is it affecting your libido? Is it affecting your skin? Pay attention to yourself when you're on medication. So what I would say is, yes, just pay attention to yourself, know your condition, know your medication. And then when it comes to stigma, when people can stigmatize out of ignorance and lack of understanding. But when you don't understand yourself and you don't know that, okay, this is just something that is affecting my brain, and it's cyclical, or it comes once in a while, it doesn't define who I am. If you don't know that your mental illness is going to drag you down every time you have a relapse. But when you know who you are, you know your condition, you know the symptoms, the causes, how to, manage it, it helps. Medication, there's no cure for bipolar disorder. So as medication is used for, treatment and management. And if we not having a cure should not, dampen your spirit. Take your medication, know your condition, know your side effects, and know how to deal with it. And when you are diagnosed with a mental health problem, it's not a death sentence. It's not a time for you to look down on yourself. It's not the time for you to be worthless. Sometimes it's a process. I know from the first time I was diagnosed till now, I have really, really improved. It's like I have thick skin now. I accept myself for who I am. I've accepted myself as somebody who lives with bipolar disorder, and I have to adjust some things so that I can, live my life to the fullest. So don't self-stigmatize. Don't look down on yourself. Don't feel you're different just because you have a mental health diagnosis. Don't see yourself as different at all. No, you're still that amazing woman. You're still that intelligent girl. You're still that person who's going to get married, run a business, or own a job, run for that government position. Don't let your condition limit you in any way. There are sometimes you would need support, and that is okay. We all need support. So when you understand yourself, you're able to express yourself, on how maybe your medication affects you, or how your condition is affecting you socially. When you speak up and accept the things that you are not able to do, and then speak to the right sources, and you get the support you need. If your relapse have made you lose self-confidence, if it has made you not like some things about you, don't worry. Just have the mindset that I want to love myself again. I want to be that woman that I was once again, or even better, and keep on, nurturing your mind. Be careful of the pages you follow on social media. If there's something that, let's say you're living with bipolar, I follow a lot of bipolar awareness pages. I see people daily sharing their stories, how they overcome their challenges. So I'm always abreast with what to do next. Sometimes you can't prevent the relapse because there's no cure for bipolar. But when the relapse happens, how are you getting back on track? When you don't have all these resources at your disposal, people that support you, proper mental health services, you always feeding your mind with something positive. It will be very challenging for you. So I always follow mental health pages that see positive things about people that live with mental health problems. I think I was following the hashtag mental health or bipolar. That's how I came across your page. And you are always putting amazing content there, allowing us to love ourselves, our brain, or whatever challenges that we may be facing. So always arm yourself. It's a daily affair. It might take some time before you get over your low self-esteem or the shame that comes with your relapses, but you will get there. I know I have gotten there. There are days that I backslide or fail, but I cry for a minute, I wipe my tears, put on my heels, and I'm back on the game.
That's right. You do. Yeah. Yeah. When you fall off of that horse, you can't lose your motivation. You can't lose faith in yourself in the process. So that's absolutely correct. Thank you so much for that answer. I love it. And especially you include the information about the medication and how you must understand your medication regimen. You got to understand it. So my second question for you is, how do you take care of your own mental health and wellness? I know you talked about the medications. What else are you doing to take care of your mental health and wellness?
So for me, I've been on my medication for about 6 years now. Truth be told, sometimes I have challenges remembering to take it, but I have a timer on my phone when I'm not able to take it. Don't fear that you're going to have a relapse just because you didn't take it for one day. You might forget sometimes because it's a daily affair. Sometimes you have to do it morning and evening. It takes time to get used to the routine. If you're somebody who had never been sick before, had any terminal condition. So it takes time. And I take my medication whenever I'm not feeling okay. I talk to a therapist. I'm always asking my doctor questions. I'm always, I ask a lot of questions. And when they say something that doesn't sit well with you, speak up, because as a patient, you have rights. I think 3 years ago, 3 years ago, quality rights was introduced in Ghana. And I don't know if you haven't heard of quality rights before, Google WHO quality rights. And then it teaches you, how patients should be treated, how professionals should treat patients. So it makes it very easy for you to go to the hospital, because when you fear going to the hospital, you fear being restrained, you feel, chemically or physically being restrained, or you fear that, people are going to not take good care of you when you're in the hospital. Like, it all prevents people from getting treatment. So now that quality rights is coming in, it's, the process of people being educated on the topic is ongoing. We've done assessments of, I was part of the assessment team to assess all the psychiatric hospitals and units in the country. We did the assessment, we came out with a report, and then we moved on to the implementation phase, where we are training, heads of the hospitals, how they should, aim at reaching better standards for the hospital, standards like, services being, observing human rights, services, being done with respect, services being used. You have to see the patient as an equal. Services for mental illness should not be degraded as compared to physical health services. So these are all things that we are looking at.
Now, and 1 second, Queen. Yeah. Did you say Google WHO quality rights?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that is it's a course. I think it's 6 modules. It's open to anybody at all to, study, be part of the course. It helps you know how to treat persons with mental illness better. So apart from me taking my medication, doing my, therapy, I'm also feeding my mind positively all the time. The tough times will come. For me, my relapses have always been on social media. It's always a public spectacle. I get a lot of people, cyberbullying me, people insulting me because they feel I've destroyed their reputation and so many things. So it takes a huge emotional toll on me. It really takes a huge emotional toll on me, and it's something that I haven't planned to do, but it happens. And then I have to, almost every 6 months, maybe something has happened and I have to apologize to people. I have to apologize to myself. But when I'm constantly feeding my mind with positive stuff, there's this YouTube channel that I follow. It does affirmations, Aisha Noel or something. And I'm always listening to affirmations as a Black woman, affirmations on how to build my confidence, affirmations to not let me down. And I'm a Christian, so I listen to a lot of, preachers that actually teach the word. And I use the word of God to, guide me a lot. And it's those are the few things that I do. But in general, when it comes to taking care of yourself as a mental health patient, in Ghana, we can do so much better when it comes to the services that we have. We need more alternative services aside, most of the time it's just medication. Cognitive, therapy is almost like 2% or 5%, but there's a lot of medication and being institutionalized. And when the quality rights comes to stay, we'll move from all those things, and it will be a more human rights based, human friendly. People that have mental health conditions should not be seen as charity cases. We want to get well and get back to our work, to our family, to our marriage, to whatever goals and dreams we have for ourselves. We don't want to be dished out, leftovers. No, we actually want to be part, contributing to the services. So don't look down on yourself. I don't look down on myself. I'm always feeding my mind positively because of the things I have done during my relapses. There's always somebody out there throwing negativity at me. So I also have to brace myself continually with positive thoughts, watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts that uplift my spirit, complying to my medication. And also, if there's anything that used to trigger me, I have to try and take that thing out of my environment. If I can't take it out of my environment, it means I have to double my mental capacity to, block all the negative things that is going to make me feel down, that is going to make me feel like I'm worthless, that is whatever is going to make me feel ashamed of myself. I have to take those things out. It is not a one-day wonder thing, no. Or it doesn't happen overnight. You have to consistently feed yourself, consistently nurture yourself, consistently train yourself. And, they said it takes 21 days to, develop a new trait or something, and maybe 90 days to get a habit. To learn something new is 21 days, and then to develop a habit, maybe 90 days. So try and, do it consistently. You wake up one day, you are overconfident. You wake up one day, you don't care what people say about you, even if you have a mental health condition. It allows you, when you don't look down on yourself as a person living with mental health conditions, you can go to places that you can find opportunities. You can actually be on a video like this, sharing your experiences, educating people, making people feel relevant, important, and worthy, even though they live with a mental health problem. People with heart diseases don't face any stigma most of the time. People with diabetes don't face stigma. Even HIV now doesn't even face it, so much stigma. And there's so much stigma associated with mental health. It starts with you. It started with me. It started with me working on myself to see myself worthy. So when anybody even says something, yes, I might feel the pain, maybe just for a moment, but I know what I am grounded on, so I'm able to move on. I can hear you.
I'm sorry, I didn't unmute myself. Thank you so very much for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and I know that you do yoga also. You do alternative.
Yeah, I do yoga. Probably, I don't know. Can I do like what do you call it? Like do a yoga pose when we're done?
Sure. As long as we'll be able to see you. I don't know how the camera.
Yeah, I'll just go back a little. We'll just give it a try if it's possible.
I love it. Yeah, yes, definitely. Let's do that. So the last question I have for you is, what is the state of mental health treatment? You kind of alluded to it, but what is the state of mental health treatment in Ghana?
I would say it is not the best, but every day it is improved since the introduction of the quality rights. I know, like it's been like 3 years or 2 years since they introduced it. I know that hospitals have been assessed. So the assessment means we looked for the loopholes, the gaps, so that we can fill them up. So it started with assessment. We are training the individuals that work in the facilities. We are training officials, government officials, media personalities on how to handle mental health issues. There are also groups that are working on, something like, attempts to doing a suicide attempt is a crime in my country. There are, there are NGOs and, CSOs working so hard to take that clause from the constitution so that it is not a crime when you attempt suicide.
Did you just say a suicide attempt is a crime in your country?
Yeah, it is.
Whoa.
It is. And this is, something like an old law from, the colonial system, which even the people that colonize us have stopped, that. So it's like, it's almost in the pipeline, but it's one of the things we've been advocating for. It's because if somebody feels, if I know, like, this is a suicide attempt, it makes them actually end it. Because it's like, if I try and I'm caught, I'll be arrested. So if I try it, I must really end it.
Oh my God.
It doesn't also make people talk about it because, if this is a crime or if this is a taboo, it wouldn't make people talk about it. And also, when it comes to, I really don't know your healthcare system so well, but like, an idea of maybe something like Obamacare, like, it was supporting some people. So when it comes to mental health patients, like the supports that they may get from the government may be very minimal or not be there at all. And what do you call it? We need more alternative therapies, yoga for your mental health, music for your mental health, writing for your mental health, rather than every time when you go to the hospital, there's a new medication for you. Like, what is the medication doing to my liver, my kidney? There was one time my cycle increased to about 45 days before, I menstruate, and I went to the hospital, and I went to the pharmacy, just going to pick up my prescription. And then the pharmacist goes like, have you done any the follicle stimulating hormone and then the luteinizing hormone? Have I run any test on them? And then my vitamin D, because the medication that I'm taking is going to affect the levels of these chemicals in my body. And I was like, I felt informed and devastated at the same time, because I'm like, I have to take this medicine every day because that's what it sort of keeps me sane. But this same medicine could be affecting something else in my body negatively, because, as our little bit of pharmacology that we studied, medications always have side effects because it's targeting some receptors, it's targeting some hormones, it's going to increase something that will have a negative feedback on another organ and all those things. So medication is good. Too much of it harms the patients rather than, heal the patient. So we need more therapies that does not involve chemicals that can damage some of our organs. And most of the time when I look at my life, most of the time that I had relapses, it's more of like maybe people around me did not understand me, or maybe I didn't communicate well. So it was more of like I didn't have good coping mechanisms. I didn't have good, therapeutic ways to heal myself. So every time I end up in a relapse, and then the first response is for you to be given medication, which is not always ideal. So the mental health care system in Ghana is improving. It's a very slow pace. I hope, all stakeholders will be involved, government, we shouldn't be just excited when it's a huge funding coming into mental health before we see our politicians, rallying, because most of the time, if it's not something that there's a lot of money inside, people don't go for it. And mental health is not so funded in Ghana, so it doesn't make a lot of people interested in that field. There's a lot of stigma being faced by professionals in that field, even aside the patient. So we need more education, we need more investment in mental health, we need some of the clauses in the Constitution changed so that it is safe for people to speak up about their mental health challenges when it comes to institutions, corporate bodies. Just as, they don't discriminate against people with heart disease, diabetes, they shouldn't discriminate against people with mental health problems. There has to be systems in our schools, our jobs, that help people reintegrate into society when they have relapses or manic episodes. Just as somebody will have malaria, you can get 3 days off, go and take care of yourself and come back. Malaria affects your blood. It's part of your, sometimes we call blood an organ, but sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So your blood is affected, your pancreas or whatever, these other conditions. There's no so much stigma surrounding it. When it comes to mental illness, you're called a mad woman, a crazy person, a psychopath. All these things must stop. We need to educate ourselves, see mental health challenges as normal things that actually happen, so that we can attend to it just as it's supposed to be. Having daily conversations about it, having open-minded conversations about it. I am thinking of, continuing my education in clinical psychology or global mental health. And I don't even want to do it in my country because I feel sometimes we are biased when it comes to mental health conditions. I need a place where stigma is almost all over the world, but there's some places I know of Australia, I know the UK, the US, mental health is like a very serious topic, and at least there's a lot more support there than in my country. And I want to see my country get there, after schooling, I'm coming back, making sure I see change where I am. I'm going to be the Oprah. I love to listen to Oprah a lot. She always goes like, you don't have to be like on the Oprah show, on the Oprah channel or whatever. You can be an Oprah in your small bakery shop. You can be an Oprah in your cosmetology, salon. You can be your Oprah and in your daughter's room. Just be there and your small space and be so excellent that you're not easily ignored. Not loud, but be excellent in what you do. And then she gives this example that when you go to a McDonald's and then you order your burger, maybe I've forgotten almost all of them, but your burger, maybe an egg sandwich, and then you get a coffee or maybe a smoothie. And then, the waiter or the waitress that ask you, do you need extra ketchup? Do you need extra tissue? It's a small job, quote unquote, to be a waitress or a waiter, but the waiter or the waitress, when they portray excellence, when they give you the best of service, you remember them wherever they go. So whenever you get the opportunity, also be excellent. Don't stigmatize, don't discriminate, take mental health issues seriously. And I know eventually we're all going to, live in a world that is stigma-free. If I'm not being too ambitious, a world free of stigma, so that people can speak up, people can get help, people will not feel ashamed and worthless. And this is my last question. I don't know if you give me the chance to, say a special thank you to some people. So I'm done with my last question. When I get opportunity to give some shout outs and some thank yous, then I take it from there.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I want a big shout out to all my Instagram followers. First of all, anybody that follows me on any of my YouTube or my social media platforms and always encourage me, always give me positive vibes. I say thank you. It does so much for me. You have no idea. It does so much for me. I want to say special thanks to all the members of Psychosocial Africa. I want to say thank you to the professionals on the platform. They give us free medical advice whenever we are going through a relapse or a crisis. I want to say from, let's say, the oldest, Dr. Jimaima Kankam, who is also a psychiatrist in the States. She's actually a fellow of the Psychiatric Society. Auntie Abanda, who is a therapist. She has a book, Hope Mongers. She's an amazing therapist. Whenever I need her, I know therapy is expensive in the States. This woman calls me over Zoom, helps me out, gives me coping mechanisms, and she doesn't charge me a dime. Dr. Eugene Dodo is also a Ghanaian psychiatrist. He was in my school when I was going through all these challenges, and he was always there to support me. My psychology lecturer when I was in UCC, Dr. Akom, Mr. Akom, he's a clinical psychologist. He was actually the first person that brought to my attention my change in my mood and behavior, but I didn't know. So it's after I got diagnosed, and it's like, he's always been helpful. My dean of students, he's like, the former dean of students for University of Cape Coast. This man will leave his office, come and check up on me in my depressive days, make sure I step out of my room to go and eat, because there were days I wasn't eating, I wasn't bathing. This man took me as his daughter and made sure I was back on my feet, going for lectures and so many other things. The current dean of students of UCC, whenever he sees anything negative about me on social media, he always reminds me, Abena, you're intelligent, you can go back to school, whatever you want to do, come, let's talk. What else do you want to do with your life? I don't want don't like seeing this negative news about you. I want to say thank you to my mom, my dad, my little brother. My nuclear family has been so amazing. They cry with me, they laugh with me. They have never for once, shunned me. There are people that are abandoned by their families at prayer camps or some, hospitals just because they have mental illnesses. My nuclear family have been so amazing. They've been so supportive. I want to say thank you to my friends, everybody that has been part of this journey. I just want to say a big thank you to all of you. I love you. I love my mates from UCC, Robert, Ivan, Aaron. These are my three buddies that always made sure I was at lectures. I was like, I had a 3.7 in my first year, second year in school. Then when I had my relapse, I went from 3.7 to 1.3. And I was ashamed to go for lectures. I wasn't feeling confident. These three friends always made sure I was at the lecture hall. I was studying. I was ready for exams. My medicine could make me sleep through our lectures. But when we get back to the dormitories or to our halls, they're going to make sure that I understand whatever that was taught in class. I just appreciate everyone that has supported me positively in my journey. I might not have been able to mention everybody's name, but I just want to say thank you, Dr. Delvina. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm always passionate about sharing my story because I know it's going to help someone out there. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I am very, very grateful.
You are so welcome. You are very, very welcome. And I thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us, because I know so many people have been helped just in hearing you talk about your experience. Before we close out the show, I like to do something. It's called myth versus fact. I want to ensure my viewers have understood what we've been teaching them.
Okay.
So they can, although you're not on the screen, Queen, they can hear you, they can hear me, but what they see is myth versus fact.
Okay.
So you'll play along with me, Queen Abena. The first question, and so I'll ask the question or I'll make the statement, and then we have to say if it's a myth or if it's a fact.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So the first question: if someone says that they're going to kill themselves, they're not going to kill themselves, because if they were, they wouldn't tell you. Is that a myth or is that a fact?
It's a fact. If someone says that they're actually thinking, they're actually, trying to find a solution not to kill themselves, they are telling you because they really don't want to do it. They just want whatever negative thing that is going on in their mind to stop. So when someone shares a suicidal ideation with you, listen, first of all, don't make the person feel judged. Exactly. Listen and get help, professional help for the person, so that the person doesn't actually carry it out. So when someone says that, they are usually most of the time really thinking about it, looking for solutions to actually carry it out.
Exactly.
So
so just to clarify, you said it was a fact, but it's a myth.
So it's a myth.
Yeah, and it's because of the way I posed the question, so I'm sure that was confusing. But what you say is absolutely correct. If someone tells you they're thinking about killing themselves, you must believe them. Some people think, oh, they told me they want to kill themselves, so they don't want to, because if they wanted to, they wouldn't tell me. So that is a myth. Thinking that they're telling you so they won't carry it out. That's a myth, guys. If someone tells you they want to kill themselves, believe
the fact that they will.
Yeah, you got to believe them. So the next question: suicide rates, and I don't know if you've seen this, Queen Abena, but suicide rates in little Black boys and girls is on the rise. Is that a myth or is that a fact?
Okay, so I would say it's a fact. And the reasons what I would give is, as Black people, African people, we've still not normalized conversations about mental health. So a lot of people are suffering in silence, and when they suffer in silence, they are not getting solutions. So it causes them to actually have suicidal ideation and actually carry it out. So we have to create, safe spaces for people to speak up. We have to educate more people on mental health issues so that we don't lose people. We don't want the statistics to be rising all the time negatively. We don't want that.
That's right. All right, guys. I'm only going to hit you with those two, myth versus fact questions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, Queen Abena.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much too. I hope this video, educates a lot of people, heals a lot of people, gives solutions to a lot of people. Yes, it makes them conscious about mental health. So
yes, absolutely. So Abena, stick around when we finish the broadcast. To everyone else, please, if you haven't already subscribed to my Brain Love podcast, please subscribe to the Brain Love podcast. I would love to have you as a supporter. It's on all podcast platforms. It's called the Brain Love podcast. And I also have a Facebook page now for the podcast. Just so you guys know, my business Facebook page, Dr. Delvina, was unpublished by Facebook. I am, but I understand business is business. It's all good.
Yeah.
And why people say that you cannot rely on social media to make your money, because if it goes down tomorrow, what will you do? Thankfully, a lot of my intellectual property that was on Facebook is also on YouTube and is also on Instagram and on other platforms like SoundCloud. So it's all good. But I am building the Brain Love Podcast Facebook page. So follow me there as well. I just want you guys to know that I'm always showing brain love, and I want you guys to do the same. Do not be judgmental when someone is having a mental health challenge. Assist them, help them understand, show some compassion, and show them grace. If you have any questions about who I am, you can visit my website, which is Dr. Delvina, DrDelvena.help. There's no I in my name, all E's, guys. And once I go to Ghana in January, I'm sure I'm going to come back with my new
Can I do my yoga move?
Hey.
Can I do my yoga move?
Oh, yes, please do. Yeah.
I'm in a bikini. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm gonna
yoga is one of the things I do to relax, and so this actually helps me with stability. So let me see. Let me turn this way.
So while she's getting ready, I'll tell you guys, she's in the mountains. She's at a hotel because she's at a conference. There.
Okay, so my hands here. Let them slowly. Breathing in and out slowly. Namaste. Let me put it back on my pelvis. I'm grounded. I'm going to bring my right feet up so I get my big toe. Taking a deep breath and then out slowly. Okay, so this I use for stability. It works on my core, and this is one of my favorite yoga poses, and yoga has really helped me. It helps me meditate. It keeps me grounded whenever I'm tense, whatever, I'm feeling like low self-esteem, and I listen to affirmations and do my yoga, and it really helps me. So thank you so much for this opportunity once again. I love you so much. Keep on doing what you're doing. And now I understand you better because we are Aquarius, baby.
Yes, guys. She was born on January 30th, and I was born January 31st. And so stay tuned, because this coming January, I will be in Ghana celebrating my birthday, and I will look for Queen Abena, so that way we can have a birthday drink, birthday meal, or something, and just to hug and say hello to my Aquarius twin. Namaste.
Hello?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So I think maybe her internet has gone out again. She can't hear me. But guys, this is the end of the show anyhow. So we're going to close out. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, yes. All right. Well, thank you for coming on tonight.
Hello?
Yep. The internet
is gone out.
I can hear you.
Okay. Tell me what you want to tell me in the chat, because I can't hear you.
Okay, no problem. Got it.
You can talk, but type it too, so that I know what you're saying.
No worries. So I'm closing out the show, guys. And you just heard from Queen Nana Abena Kokor Addo. And so I'm so happy that she joined us.
Okay.
She's not here. So
So,
this is what happens in the business of podcasts. So everybody have a great night. Have a great rest of the week. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming on. We adore you guys. We appreciate the support, and we appreciate you supporting Brain Love. So thank you.